Alright, before I start inviting people in, I'm going to answer the two questions, yeah, the two questions that I got for last week. The on-air segment didn't work for me last week. I didn't set it up correctly, so I didn't get that on air last week. So I'll get these two questions taken care of first before I start inviting other people in that might have other questions for this week. My first question from last week was from Michael Ellis. His question goes, my Chromebook automatically returns to a lock state after a relatively short period of inactivity when using it as a reader, like for a recipe to cook from. That time is too short. Can you tell me how to turn off auto-locking feature or to change the time so it stays active longer? I would like to be able to change it back and forth easily so I can do it whenever the need arises. Thanks. I contacted him before the hangout last week and let him know the setting under the users to disable the require passcode or whatever password to unlock from Wake. Also, for those who need it, if you go to Chrome //settings/search # users up in the URL bar, or the Omni bar as it's actually called, you'll see a checkbox that says require password for requiring the password. When you're reading and use it when I'm personally in the kitchen with my Chromebook using a recipe and whatnot, I actually have Google Play music playing in the background. That keeps it actually awake and whatnot so I don't have to worry about it going to sleep on me at all, so I normally don't have to put my password in. I have it shut off anyway because I don't really feel like typing my password in every time it goes to sleep. I occasionally get up or not occasionally, I more than often get up and my Chromebook falls asleep on me, so to avoid that unless I'm out in public. There are a couple other things that you can use to keep it awake also. There is Keep Awake is an extension that you can find in the Chrome Web Store that'll keep your Chromebook awake also. I use a clock called TikiTok that will also keep your screen awake. You have to be careful with that though. It might create a burn-in image on your screen also. So when you're keeping your display awake, you want to kind of be careful. That way it's not burning in the background or whatever onto your screen. Like I said, when I'm cooking, using it for a recipe reader or whatever, or cookbook, I have Google Play Music going. The music keeps playing, the screen goes to sleep. I don't have to worry about burning or anything. That's what I do personally. So that's what I do with that. If anyone else has any suggestions or ideas to help him out, go ahead and post a comment down below, and I'll make sure Michael gets those comments. And then from Twitter, I also had a question from Mar the Wise at Twitter. Can you suggest some Chromebook useful apps? Thanks. I have a lot of apps on my Chromebook that I use a lot. It all depends what you're looking to use your Chromebook for and what you're looking to accomplish with your Chromebook. Brett had it last week. I was in the hangout with I apologize, Brett, I forgot your last name, but with Brett, I had he gave me a couple that he found very useful, and I actually downloaded or installed, not downloaded. You don't download anything to your Chromebook. You install the extensions in apps. Google Dictionary is one he suggested that it worked perfect. It's great. Um, he also personal block list. You can find all these in the Chrome Web Store. Personal block list. If you go to Google and search something and you see like an ad, or you can block, you can personally block any search results per site. Like you'll never see any site, and you can always disable it through the app also. I haven't checked that out yet. I've been, I've been really busy with work and housework and whatnot, so I have not checked that out yet. I do plan on looking at that and just randomly just testing it out. Um, Another one that Brett uses was Save to Pocket. If you use Pocket, and it's an extension, if you use Pocket, you can literally just, it'll save it to your Pocket so you can read it anytime, really. For me, personal choice, first off, Google, uh, sorry, now I'm not even bring for Gmail offline. I personally prefer the aesthetic of that over the regular Gmail thing. It's still online and whatnot, but it it'll also download it, and you can view all your emails and Gmails offline. I personally prefer the visual aesthetic of it over the web online version. Um, Also, I use Photoshop 7 on my PC if I need any to do any graphics work and whatnot. And a good alternative on a Chromebook for Photoshop 7 would be Pixlr Editor. Um, and of course, the Google Docs app, um, which you can create docs off online and whatnot. Um, and again, I'll bring this question up to others today, see if they get any ideas and whatnot. Also, um, that's pretty much all mine. Goo.gl URL shortener, the Google URL shortener. I use that constantly. What's great about that is if you when you take that and you have the Google shortened URL, you can actually copy and paste that in your Omnibar and put a plus sign at the end, and you'll get the stats. If you actually, I think you can do it even if it's not your URL, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But for yours, it'll actually, if you're logged in with it, you'll get a whole list of stats, or you get all your copied URLs like bookmarked, and it'll also have a thing for stats, like what countries uh, views per day or whatnot and everything. So, all right, those are the two questions I got for last week. So now I'm going to invite some people in, and I'm going to get these guys in and see if we have any questions for today, and get these two questions answered again. Get these two, see if we can get more answers to these two questions from last week, and see if there's any more questions for today. I'm sorry, I'm kind of out there today. My day off. Didn't sleep very well last night, but doing this is for you guys, and well, it's easy. It's better this way. I find it more entertaining if I'm not awake anyway. All right, so let me get some people invited, and we'll get taken care of. If it'll cooperate with me. Got some people invited, and I just want to push this over to the event I started or had done yesterday or set up about 2 weeks ago also. So add the comment tracker also, so if anyone has any comments or questions, they can post them down in the comments and I'll get those also about Chromebooks. This thing's not wanting to cooperate with me. Excuse me. Just trying to get everyone invited that wanted to come in. Um, invited all the people that said yes and those who said maybe. So um, I will double check my form to see if anyone else has any questions. Um, from last week, no one posted any more questions, so there might be some added. Uh, I checked just last night, and no one posted any extra questions. Um, it does not look like I have any extra questions except for those two that we got last week. Hey, Burns. Do I have you muted by accident? Doesn't look like it. I think I'm having issues. I can't hear you if you're talking. Technical difficulties are fun. Now you're in here twice. My head broken, I think. I still don't hear you from my Pixel. Oh, this is horrible. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the on-air thing. I heard that tapping. You're rustling. I hear scratching of some sort. Like scrambled audio. Kick the other one of you out. Hopefully it doesn't kick both of you out. I just turned you up, see if that helps. Okay, so this is not going to be working very well. Hey, Lynn.
Hi.
Okay,
I was I was in the
I'm
other hangout and I could only hear you, so I figured out there was another invite. I'm okay now.
for Lynn. I can hear you fine. So I don't know if Burns is having an issue with with his what device he's on or what because
I heard him for a split second, then I got garbled sound, and now nothing.
yeah, I heard rustling and then some scrambled audio. I didn't actually hear him.
Yes.
Uh, I'm actually in a hangout with him. I can see him fine. I just can't hear him.
I couldn't see him at first on the public hangout, the first one that I connected to, but then he came up later. I posted a question to a little side panel that said ask the first question, and I think there's two questions now, so you should have.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not getting the Q&A part.
Yeah, that
It's
was
not
on the
showing up
other
on
screen. I
here.
closed that screen out, and then I could connect to this one.
Right, that was the hang on air because this is actually broadcasting right now, so people can
Right,
watch it.
I understand.
Um, for
I'm gonna
some
try to be
reason,
try to be quieter and let you concentrate on what you're doing. I'm having
I,
kind of.
I, I have I have no questions right now except for the two that we had last week.
Okay.
I actually haven't even gotten a chance to look into that issue that you had
You
either.
don't,
I've been
you
so
don't have
busy.
to. You don't have to. I got it confirmed by another TC, already escalated it, and Google is taking the ball and is apparently running with it. So it was
Oh,
actually worth reporting. So you helped me a lot just by being able to discuss it and not getting ridiculed as it's not possible for that to be true. Then I decided what to do. So helped a lot.
all right. Well, we had a couple questions last week. You were in here, I believe, when I answered them, or at least the first
Yes.
one with Michael
Yes.
Ellis. Were you here for the second one, the useful app one?
I don't think so. I think I had to leave early.
Yep. I had a question from Twitter. It was from I forgot his Twitter handle now. Martha Wise asked me to recommend some useful Chromebook apps. Uh, Brett Castillo, crud. I forgot Brett's name again. I just invited him to the hangout and I saw his last name and then I forgot it. But Brett suggested Save to Pocket. Um,
I love Pocket.
he recommended the Save to Pocket extension, uh, a Google Dictionary extension, and the personal block list, which will block unwanted search results from Google.
Hmm.
Those were the three he suggested that he found useful. He didn't actually have a lot of apps and extensions. He said, "Me, I have a ton. I have like 17 extensions, and I didn't even bother counting my apps. I have like 4 pages of apps, and maybe one page is of those that came pre-installed."
We are different.
Uh, well, I have it on the Pixel. I turn off the app
Oh,
sync so
yes.
it doesn't sync to the other ones to slow them down.
I have an
Uh,
ARM Samsung and an S5 Samsung, and I don't overload them. I keep most of them turned off most of the time and then turn them on just when I'm getting ready to use them. That seems to work best. I do like, uh, is it Checker Plus for Gmail? I forget the exact title. There's two with similar thing. I love that one because it will ding even if the screen has been um, power saved, has been, you know, turned off. So I like that one. And Pocket's wonderful. I use
for
that all.
my emails, I actually don't use it anymore. I had one that I used to use all the time. It would let me know about emails, and it would let me know about like when Google Reader was around,
Right.
new Google Reader feeds and whatnot.
I miss that.
Um, but once Google Reader shut down, I didn't. I used it more for that than for my Gmail because I check my Gmail when I'm home, maybe every other hour, every 2 or 3 hours by myself. So I don't really feel the need to have a notification app for my
Had to connect my
a
power.
notification app. But for my suggestions, I went with my first pick was uh, Gmail offline because personally I prefer the visual aesthetic of that over the regular Gmail experience visually. Granted, when I need to move stuff around or stuff, I'll pop into Gmail because it's a little easier to do it that way than doing it in Gmail offline. Uh, I also, I actually started the question off with, it depends on what you're trying to do and what you want to accomplish with your Chromebook. Because it really does vary what someone figures is useful and what someone doesn't. Um, for like me, I use Pixlr Editor because I have Photoshop 7 on my PC that's in the dining room, and if I ever do graphics work and I don't want to wait for the PC to load up, I'll just hop on my Pixel and I'll do some light graphic work with Pixlr Editor. Um,
I do the same with the GIMP. I use that if I'm doing something serious, but Pixlr is good for quick.
Now, does GIMP have a Chrome app now, a web app?
Nope, I use that on my Linux laptop.
Oh, okay, okay. I was like, if GIMP
I
has
wish
one,
we did.
I'll move to that.
Yeah, no, we wish. I want to be able to use it with the Wacom tablet input thing,
Mm.
which I covet but can't afford yet. So yeah,
I don't know if that works with. I know they're
it
working
doesn't.
on. They were working on it getting to work with the Chromebook.
I understand it's
Uh,
close. They are still working on it, but they want it to be a full input device, and it's just a mouse substitute on Chrome OS now. That's the last I heard. There's a
so
bug that I follow on that.
I follow the book too.
Okay,
I
I should have
you
known.
pretty much follow you pretty much follow every bug.
Yeah, I actually scan. I exclude a lot. You can put minus and tell it not to search for some things. So I have a long list of do not search for this, show me everything else. And every morning I sit down and just look at them. It's an obsession. Yeah. But it
About
comes in handy.
half those you look at, you star.
Yeah, how do you know that? Yeah. Uh, okay. If you can't see the questions that are on the list we put on today, do you want me to ask you now so you have something to
Um,
add?
I
There was
can
two
I
questions
can
last time I looked.
yeah, I can bring it up if it's on the event page. I can bring it up. I might
I
even
was
just
thinking
open
that's
up
what it
the.
was. Posted it to Google Plus.
Uh, well, they already have comments removed as spam also. Hmm. Automatically removed as spam comments. Okay. Well, come on, cooperate with me.
What happened to Burns Newbie? Is he? Is he gone?
He's trying to find another computer that will work
Oh,
with him.
okay. Okay.
That is not spam. The person just said hi. Someone marked that as spam for some reason. Or something happened. I don't know. Okay, so let's go with. I will load this up and see if I can get the questions. There we go. He's trying to find another computer. Okay, so we got Dean Brickland. Uh, he's got an Acer C7 that he was thinking of getting rid of, and what are your options on, or sorry, what are your opinions on that and other Chromebooks soon to be released? Um, well, the C7. I've heard nothing really but good things from the C7. Um, the other Chromebooks, like oh, I'm having a brain fart. There was one that's just coming out. Oh, well, Acer's new one that they just released is supposed to be really good too. I haven't looked at it and whatnot. Um, I really try not to form opinions about Chromebooks unless I get my hands on them. Uh, like the Series 5, the original Samsung's, I loved that thing. It was, of course, that was being upgraded. That was my first Chromebook from going from the CR48. I went to the Samsung Series 5. So, of course, that's going to be a step up. That's going to be awesome. Then I got my Pixel. So, the,
It's
the,
over.
the Pixel, I'm still rocking the Pixel. Until this thing dies, I'm not really thinking I'm looking into something else. But if I had to, uh, honestly, the Samsung build quality, like the ARM Samsung that I got just last year, uh, the build quality, it seems fairly cheap. Like Samsung's trying to keep their costs down, which is good. It'll keep it down, and it's a good little Chromebook. But uh, I have had my hands on an Acer. It's almost equally as cheap, but it feels a little bit solider. Like you could accidentally maybe knock it off a table and it'd survive. Samsung build quality, to me, I fear if I knock it off the table, it might not survive. Um, but yeah, there was one other one I was kind of keeping an eye on. Um, Now I forget about it. I read about it 2 days ago, and then
Maybe the Toshiba. Toshiba's got some coming out. I don't know anything about any of them. It's like I don't even read the.
no, it was a name I didn't recognize. That's why I read about it, and I was like, that sounds kind of awesome.
Hmm.
Um, it was a weird name. Uh, I don't even know if it'll be coming to the U.S. anytime soon or not. Uh, but like I said, I try not to form opinions until I get hands on. And even if I have to go to like Best Buy or anywhere they're going to be carrying them in store just to try them out, that's what I'll do. I'll go and at least pick it up, play, and get a feel for it and whatnot to see how I like the feel and whatnot. That way, I at least have, if at least a minimal opinion, at least I have some sort of opinion. Uh, Granted, it would take probably about a week to form a solid full opinion about any of the devices to see how battery life, performance, and all that is. But like I said, I have a Pixel right now, so I'm honestly not looking to replace the Pixel unless they come out with a Pixel 2 or something, which I don't think is going to happen. So, um, all right. So, Lynn, you have your questions up next.
Okay.
The Samsung Series 5 screen has been having problems. So now when I use it with my TV in dock mode, or so now I use it with my TV. Sorry, uh, can't read today. Do you think it's okay to just leave it connected all the time, or would it be better to disconnect it when it's not currently? Honestly, um, when I had my um, oh, there was one that went out on me. It might have been my CR48. Yeah, it was my CR48 before I got my Samsung Series 5. It died on the screen died on me, before I took it apart and reconnected all the connectors and whatnot,
Mhm.
which that's what I had to do. But yeah, I hooked that up to my TV and left it. Uh, I did close it and shut it down, but I never unhooked it. I just left it on a TV tray next to the TV
Okay.
and used it as a monitor. It shouldn't present a problem.
You didn't have any
Um,
problems with updates or anything like that? In other words, everything worked, and even though I never disconnect anything, it all just
yeah,
stays the
it
same.
should still work. If it doesn't, simply just unplug it and reconnect it, and it
Okay.
should pop right back up. I mean, maybe once the screen didn't come on when I opened it, and that's what I did. I just unhooked the display port from the Chromebook and plugged it back in,
And redo it.
and
That
it
sounds.
shut. It turned back right on.
I'm really concerned about the hinges that I don't want to open it and close it all the time, but I was wondering if there was any issue with just leaving it
Or
as is. I'm not
just
used to
leaving it
doing that.
open. Oh
So
no, you can.
I just close it by using the little power button symbol thing. In other words,
Mhm.
I do it with the keyboard instead of closing the lid.
Or you can actually just use the on-screen shutdown too.
That's what I meant. I
That
use
way
the
that way you don't even have to
like
hold the
select the
button.
little symbol instead of pushing a key. I figure anything that mechanical that I use, the older it gets, the more likely it is to have something going on. Okay, that answers my question.
No,
That's kind of what I thought, but you have more experience with this than I do, and I am not capable of taking screens apart and checking connections and things. So I'm
oh, no,
reluctant to.
I didn't take the screen apart. I popped open the bottom
Well,
and
see,
on
I
the
don't.
board on the bottom.
I'm not doing
I'm,
that.
I'm sure you. I'm sure you've seen my the CR48 SSD
Thought that was yours. I
video or
wasn't
whatnot.
sure, but that's it. But I figured
Yeah,
asking that.
that's as far as I go. I don't take it apart any farther than that. Eric's the one that'll take it completely apart.
Oh, Eric's the one you could donate parts and things to. Is that
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay.
He was the one with the CR48
Okay.
graveyards, but
I
I don't think he's doing that any
forgot
longer.
about that. Yeah.
He had to step away for work, I think. That's why he's no longer TC. Also, he's an alumni right now. He had to step away because he wanted
Okay.
to focus on work and whatnot. Um, it does look like we have a couple more.
Good.
Uh, Dean says he can't see anything replacing the Pixel. The Acer 13 sounds awesome, which, yeah, it does sound awesome. The Pixel's way out of your price range. I understand. It is pretty expensive. There are occasionally people selling it on eBay. You can get a fairly good price. Like I think a couple of them. I know, like Eric, he was selling his two Pixels, and they went. He was asking, I think, about 800 for his 32 gigabyte one, which is not a bad price. Granted, you wouldn't get the little extra bonuses like the terabyte of drive space and whatnot. Um, when he checks, okay, when Dean checks prices online uh, in the UK and Ireland, they seem higher than American sites, and he's wondering why that was. Um, that is probably something that probably importing prices and whatnot or something. I'm honestly not sure how pricing goes. Uh, as I included in my little thing right up here, I'm not a Google employee, so I don't know. Uh, and that's not something Google would actually comment on entirely. It's just probably a regional thing that they have to set those prices at that point in that area. Um, so let's see. So those are the three questions that we had right there for now. Um, I can't answer or have them marked as answered because for some reason my like I said, the Q&A thing is not working on the Hangout in in the actual Hangout. I don't know why. We have 2 viewers. And I've added the YouTube page as a comment on the comment tracker for Hangout Toolbar or Toolbox. So if people post comments on that, it should show up. So I don't think the Q&A thing is working, to be honest.
I don't see anything on that. I don't know. I've got a group chat on
It
this
would
window. That's
it
all.
would be on me, I think, but I'm not seeing it. I have the showcase, but I don't have the Q&A one, which I don't understand why. I don't need the showcase. Yeah. I'll just keep flipping back and forth and hoping that people can see it, or I'll just keep flipping back and forth to
Unfortunately, I'm
answer
running out of
questions.
time. I'm going to have to fold up just like last week. But
That's
I
all
hate to
right.
go off and leave you.
This one will be on air, so you can catch up and whatnot.
I don't think I want to watch me on TV. Yeah, no. Anyway, it's been
You
fun,
fast
and
forward,
you
then
have.
when you don't see you, you know you can watch.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. This is enjoyable, and it did help me. So, good job.
All right.
All right. See ya. Bye.
All right. Bye. Alrighty, so I'm going to see if we have any other questions. Right now we still have just those 2, or 3, the one from Lynn and the 2 from Dean. So I still don't. I do apologize about this. I can't figure out why I'm not getting the questions in my Hangout. It is sort of annoying, to be honest. It should be working that way, but it's not. So if anyone has any questions, like I said, I'll be able to answer any of, or I'll try. I'll do my best. I shouldn't say I'll be able, because there are some questions I don't know the answers to. I will be happy to try to find the answer to you and get back to you as soon as I can. But right now, well, there is another. So, oh, and this up. Actually, try to find my YouTube comments. See if anyone commented in there. Also test out the comment tracker thing. New questions. Any idea why they don't make a 15.6-inch Chromebook? And what do you think about Microsoft and HP Stream? Sorry. I don't know. Maybe they think that there's not a big demand for the 15.6 screens, and they want to keep it a more portable, on-the-go type thing. 15.6-inch Chromebooks might be a little more bulky than they would like, maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but that would be my guess. Would be they're wanting Google is wanting to maybe just focus on portability and on use on the go more than larger screens. They will always say that if you want a larger screen, you can use a monitor and probably get a Chrome box instead of a Chromebook. But I'm not 100% sure, and I'm not sure what you're talking about with the Microsoft and HP Stream. I honestly don't know anything about that, so. Okay, sorry, Dean. I misread the first question I read for you. Uh, I I totally missed that. I thought you had the C7. I apologize for that. Um, right now, the largest screen I think they have is one of the HP ones. The HP 14, I think, or what? Yeah, they have a 14-inch HP one, and I actually had my hands on that for a little while. I did like the build quality of that. It felt really nice. HP did a really nice job on that Chromebook. Um, it felt really nice, and it kind of reminded me of the Pixel kinda in the build wise. Granted, it wasn't the aluminum body and whatnot, but it felt very nice, and it looked great also. Um, that's I actually purchased an HP for my sister-in-law, and she's not complained about it yet. So it's a decent one. Bigger screens, I don't like I just said. I don't believe they're going to be uh, going out for a bigger screen unless there's a large demand for it. Then manufacturers might think about doing larger screens. Um, but right now, I don't believe there's a large enough demand for what Chromebooks are for the larger screen. Um, a lot of people do like them, but I don't think right now that that's an issue. That's a even a. I apologize. I don't think that's even a thought in some of the manufacturer's mind about doing larger screens right now. All right. So Michael Ellis. Do you know a way to mute my microphone on a Chromebook with a key combination? Uh, I'm in. I'm frequently in conference calls and have to hunt for a button or menu to turn off the microphone, which is never fast enough. Um, Michael, what sort of uh, well, actually, I'll hit you up real quick and try to get a little clarification on that. Um, Actually, I'll just invite you in here, Michael, and see if I can pull you in. Uh, get a little input real quick and see if. And if you decline, that's fine. If you don't want to be in here on air, that's fine. Um, I'll just hit you up. I'll actually first before I invite you, I'll hit you up on in a hangout real quick and if my phone will cooperate with me also. Oh, come on. I'm going to assume you're using Hangouts for the conference calls. I'll have to do some research in just a second to figure out how to mute that real quick. Um, because I know if you're using Hangouts, I believe there should be a keyboard shortcut, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Um, okay, yeah. Control D in Hangouts will mute and unmute your microphone in Hangouts. For the camera, it's Control E. Um, but I'm not sure about any other apps right now. I have no problem researching and looking, but right now that's the only thing I can think of is if you're using Hangouts, it's going to be Control D to mute and unmute your microphone um, while you're in the Hangout. Uh, but you have to have the Hangout open to do that. Uh, um, that's going to be, I think. just going to check out my. Let's see. All right, so apparently it wasn't broadcasting on YouTube because I didn't have that set up on my YouTube account yet. So, all right, now I have that set up on YouTube also, and I am going back and forth to see if there's any new questions. Like I said, I'm having tactical, technical difficulties. Um, I don't know if it's a Chromebook issue or a Hangout issue. I'm not getting the questions in. I'm not getting the questions in my Hangout, so I'm actually going back and forth. I opened the Hangout on air like you guys are viewing it, so I can get the questions also. Um, Michael just came back, and for the like I was saying for the Hangouts on air, if you're doing a conference call, Control D will mute your uh, mic. Control E mutes the video. Um, other things I'll actually have to look into, and there should be like a short setting for like Hangouts. If you hit Shift, if you pretty much like you're typing a question mark, keyboard shortcuts will pop up on Hangouts. They'll have for the help question, they have the question mark. You can disable and then enable your camera, mute, unmute your microphone, accessibility items, um, become the primary speaker. That only works if your audio is muted. Control G, like if you're doing sign language or whatnot, I believe. Um, Now to use currently speaking is another accessibility feature. Um, um, if Control D is not muting your microphone and it's muting your speakers, um, you'd want to send feedback to the Hangout people. Um, I don't remember exactly where they hide that. Okay, it'd be down here. If you're in a Hangout, it'd be down in the corner, right down on the left. It would be send feedback is what you'd want to do. Control D should mute your microphone, not your speakers. With it muting my microphone. Control D did mute my microphone on my Pixel. Um, if it doesn't mute your microphone, um, that should shut your microphone off on your Hangout. If not, like I said, down in the lower left-hand corner of the screen in the Hangout should be the little menu when you bring up the little slide out sidebar. It should be the question mark icon down in the bottom left. It'll have help, keyboard shortcuts, and send feedback. Uh, you'll need to do that, I think. Um, then the Google team Hangout team will be able to probably help you out and find out if that's your issue or whatnot. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm on a Hangout with Michael right now, getting live feedback. So, yes, the mute button up on the top is just to mute your sound. That's the volume control. It's mute for your, like the TV, mute, up, down, mute. Control D would it when you're outside of a Hangout. Control D is your bookmark. But in the Hangout, it'll mute your microphone. And it, and if that doesn't help, just let me know which Chromebook. Actually, just let me know right now which Chromebook you're using, Michael. And if I have it, I'll test it out. And then if not, I'll I'll make my way to Best Buy, and I'll if they have it in stock or in there, I will try right at the store. I'll hotspot my phone and just try hang out real quick, and see if I can get it to work or whatnot. Um, but yeah, that the Control D should work. Um, Dean wants me to make a list of my top 10 or top 5 Chromebooks out at the moment. Um, well, obviously, the Pixel's number one, yes. um, I would go with the HP 4 for number two. Number three, right now, I think I would have to go with the C7, the Acer C7. Um, I'm having a brain fart of other ones right now because those are the only ones that I actually am looking at. Um, Give me just a second, Dean. I apologize. I'll start the list over, of course. I do apologize. Um, I'm having issues with my brain right now. Yeah, the C720 would be number three. So I got the Pixel at number one, the HP 14 at number two, the Acer C720 for number three. Um, Actually, I apologize. Let me backtrack. The C7 720p would be number three. Then I'd drop down to the C720 for number four. The only difference between the C720p is the touchscreen. The C720p has a touchscreen, and I don't believe the C720 does. Then the HP Chromebook 11. Um, right now, I think for commercial, I don't think Toshiba released their commercial one. The Samsung Chromebook and the C7, I think, are pretty equal. I would put the original Acer C7 above the Samsung a little bit, just because of personal preference. The Samsung Chromebook 2, I have not gotten my hands on yet, so I don't know where to rank that currently. Um, but they do have a 13.3-inch one of those. So I'll have to get my eyes on that also to see how the Samsung Chromebook 2 works out. Um, but yeah, the Pixel first, the HPC, the HPC. Ah, okay, number one, Pixel, of course. I love this Pixel. Number two, the HP 14. Number three would be the Acer C720p. Number four, the Acer C720 or yeah 720. Um, the HPC 11 for number five. Number six, I'd go with the Acer C7, and the eighth would be the current Samsung or the Samsung Chromebook number one, or just Samsung Chromebook, um, because I have that one currently, and it's my backup when the wife has the Pixel. Um, I'm not sure about the Samsung um, Samsung Chromebook 2 yet. I will try to get my hands on it, and I will and I'll try to get my hands on that to at least get a somewhat of a idea of what's improved on that. Um, I apologize again. I will. I could go by simply by stats, but I prefer to get my hands on stuff and try it out. Like I said, occasionally I'll go to Best Buy and I will try to at least get a half-assed opinion on things and try them out and whatnot. Um, but yeah, that would be my list of Chromebooks. And if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and post a comment down below, and with your list, I'm sure some people will disagree with me. So that's great. That's just my personal list. So if my list differs, please, by all means, please put it down in the comments. That'd be great to have that discussion as to see why or how our opinions differ. All right. Looks like I'm down to one viewer, and I'm not sure who's watching, but been at this for about an hour. I will go ahead and close this down a little bit to see if I will maybe. I'll tell you what. It's 1:13 right now. I'll stay till 1:30, and then I gotta go. I got a couple things I gotta get done around the house. Um, then I'll be more than happy next week to. I'll make sure I'll add the my I have a Google form for people that might have any questions and whatnot. Um, or even if you don't want to use the Google form, you can just use the comments down in the YouTube comments or in the Google Plus comments and comment there for questions for next week. Or even if you get them in now, I'll be happy to answer them now if I can. If I can't answer them now, I will research them, and I will get an answer to you this weekend because I don't work this weekend. But I'll also feature them on the next week's episode. Yeah, I'm calling it an episode. I shouldn't do that. But I will do it in next week's hangout. Um, if you have any questions after we go off the air, I'll make sure I link the my form for questions. It's a simple form. You don't have to provide your name or anything if you don't want to. If you want to be identified, I have a section for that stuff. I personally would like it if you like to be identified, but if you're not cool with that, that's fine. I'll plug you out there if you need or want. Not need, but if you'd like to be mentioned, I'll mention you. If you don't want to be mentioned, I'll just say I have a question from a user. That's fine. And that's if you don't want to comment your questions and you want to do it anonymously, go ahead and use the Google form that I created for these questions. But yeah, I will hang out for about 15 more minutes, and then I have a couple other things to do, and I will see you guys next week. So I'm trying to think of anything I can say or recommend. I'm coming at a loss right now. But if you have any questions, if you're viewing from the Hangout URL with the questions on that side, yeah, that's what I think it's that side. I get confused because I use that side, the Q&A thing. If you have a question, go ahead and ask it. I'm here for 14 more minutes. If you have any questions after this goes off the air, I will answer those also, but I'll try to get you an answer if you provide information, or if you comment, I'll get you an answer as soon as I can. Um, it might even happen before this weekend, but I apologize again. It might happen this weekend. Uh, this weekend will be the earliest, probably. Plan on this weekend being the earliest I get back to you. I might be able to get back to you beforehand. Um, but right now, it doesn't look like I have any more questions still. Um, but let's see. I do. I'll tell you what. I'll go through my apps and tell you which ones I think I have that are useful. And when I edit the YouTube description of this video, I'll make sure to add the links to the Chrome Web Store for these apps in there. Um, like I said, my first go-to app really is Gmail offline. I prefer the visual aspect of this over the online version. Um, it's just a personal thing. I prefer the visual aesthetic of it, so I use that more often than I do the regular Gmail. Um, Tiki Tack, it's pretty much a word clock. It's got a couple different. It's got actually I'd say more than a couple. It's got about eight, I think, different themes that you can use. Uh, oh, sorry. Um, I use that on occasion. I try not to use it too often so I don't get stuff burned into the screen too often. I use Google Keep all the time. I use it on my phone, my tablet, and my Chromebook. I use it simply because it syncs all over the place, and it's just a quick, easy note-taking uh, app. So I use that all the time. Pixlr Editor, like I said, when I don't want to worry about booting up my PC over here at home with Photoshop 7, oh, I'll load up Pixlr Editor and use that. Um, and then recently, Google Movies and TV, Google Play Movies, they got an offline where you can download your movies or your TV episodes to watch offline with the app. I like that. I haven't used it yet because, well, right now my Pixel doesn't leave home. But I, I'm sorry, but that would be something I'd probably use in the future when I travel. Um, Google Docs for creating. I simply have this really. If for some reason my internet goes down and I need to do something with documentation, I'll use Google Docs. Like if I'm uh, looking up something or if I'm making a list or something. Well, yeah, for lists, no, I'll use Keep. Sorry, but if I'm doing, well, honestly, I don't use it much. But uh, if I get back into writing, like I used to do some creative writing, I would use Google Docs, and if I lost internet connection, I'd be able to still use Google Docs offline. Um, let's see, what other ones would I recommend? Da, 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 da. Of course, Google, the Chrome Remote tool from Google. Uh, if my PC's on, I will be able to Chrome and remote into my PC from my Chromebook. Unfortunately, right now, I know it's something, I believe it's something they're looking into, is to remoting into Chromebooks, but right now that is not possible with Chrome OS. So, um, right now, you can't remote into Chrome OS. That's something I'm looking for in a Chromebook in the future. I believe it's something the Chromium open source community is looking at remoting in, uh, but right now you can't do it. Uh, but that with Chrome Remote being able to remote into Chromebooks, that would be very helpful for like if I got my mom or my grandmother or even my brother who's not very good with technology, if I got them Chromebooks for Christmas or for their birthday or just to get them Chromebooks to get connected, uh, and they had a question, I could easily pop on to my Chromebook and remote into their Chromebook and walk them through it, show them how it's done, or even just remote in and have them give me the access code to get in and just sit there and watch them. Right now, they could what I do with my grandmother when she has questions, or actually no, not my grandmother because well, she doesn't use a computer as far as I know. But what I would do with my mom is I'd tell her get on your Chromebook or get on your computer right now. This is what I would tell her because well, she doesn't ask many questions, but this is what I'd have her do. I would have her get on, open up, invite me to a hangout, and share her screen. Then I just talk her through what she needs to do. Um, that's the option right now is to help somebody with a Chromebook is to actually walk them through it with them sharing their screen. Uh, right now you can't take control. Um, but that would be. Oh, and I also have the Chrome app pop out um, settings that was shared. I gotta find the link for that. Um, but those are the couple apps that I use constantly. Um, okay, I had a new question from Dean. You read somewhere that the Guardian project and Google are working together to integrate its service into Chrome OS. Um, I would have to look up. I'd have to research that a bit. Um, I'm not completely sure what that is, so I will have to look into that for you. Um, and if it was true, Google, it'd be a difficult thing to find out because Google doesn't like to do any hints or pre-releases really too far ahead. Um, I mean, they'll do the occasional hint and whatnot right before they release something, but for the most part, they keep quiet for the most part for their. Is it possible to use Microsoft Office on a Chromebook with with the Microsoft Office free app? Um, well, actually, you can use Google Docs will be able to handle your Microsoft Office stuff also. But if you don't want to use Google Docs, you can go and use Microsoft's online tools also. That is a question that the community gets a lot about Chromebooks is how to use Microsoft Office. The general consensus is Google Docs can handle it. Um, some people don't like that answer, but other people do. Um, there is also the option of going and using Microsoft's cloud services instead of Google's. Um, I read an article about putting Linux on a Chromebook. I personally have not tried that, so I don't know how easy or hard it is to do. Someone they would why someone would do it would be because they want a little more um, customized. They want a little more computing power, probably. The reason I haven't done it is because I really don't need to. I have a laptop that I have Wine on. I have a Windows PC, and I have two Chromebooks. To be honest, I have not touched that Wine laptop. Uh, Probably December was the last time I think I had that laptop out that I have Linux on. Um, yeah. Personally, I've not tried to put Linux on a Chromebook. I had a HP Elite book that I put Linux on that. I cleared off Microsoft, reformatted it, and put Linux on. Um, as far as how easy it is, how hard it is, when you put Linux on a Chromebook, unless you completely wipe it, you're going to have to hit. You're going to have to over. Actually, no. I don't think you can completely overdo it. But if you install it, you're going to have to switch to dev mode. Um, and every time you log in, when you want to use Linux, you have to hit Control D every time you turn your Chromebook on. Um, that's another reason I have not. It would be a pain in my butt. And I don't. I'm a fairly lazy person when it comes to wanting to get online. That's why I have a Chromebook. That's why I use the Chromebook most of the time. I open it, it's on, I'm on the internet like that. Um, so uh, if it's not terribly too hard, I believe, but it's just a pain to keep it running. Uh, and it's easy to switch back if you decide you don't want to, as long as you don't completely um, mess with the Chrome OS side. Um, because all you have to do is do a restore, a USB or SD card restore, and it'll go back straight to Chrome OS. Um, but personally, I've not tried, and I haven't really had the desire to try to install Linux on my Chromebooks. All right. Well, I thank you guys for joining me, and like I said, any if you had any questions, comments, and whatnot, just go ahead and leave them in the comments, or I will provide a link for the my brain fart again. I apologize. I will have links for my uh, Google form to ask questions for next week. Um, I will check the questions one more time. I think I got them all right now. Um, yep, I have. I believe I've answered all these questions. Most of them from Dean Bricklin, which I thank you, Dean, for participating. Um, but yeah, if you guys have any more questions, I'm actually going to jump off here now and go ahead and you have a couple options. You can find me on Google Plus, leave a comment or tag me in a comment. Uh, Comment if you're watching this on YouTube. Go ahead and comment below, or in the description. You can use the Google form that I'm going to post up. Uh, Once again, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for participating. And I'm glad I could be very helpful for you, Dean. Um, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you.